Hello and welcome back to the Creation Motivation Podcast. Today we are continuing our fall holiday challenge. I am determined to get to my goal weight this time and at least maintain my weight through the holidays. The holidays is the toughest time of the year besides, summer and the heat and vacation series that I'm slowly releasing late. Sorry about that. But besides that, holidays are just really, really tough. And I'm trying to get through it. And I thought, why not talk about it? So who am I? I am at Lose and Maintain. I have a blog. I am also on a weight loss journey. I am just your normal average Joe, normal average bloke. I'm a mom. I talk about the ups and the downs, the struggles, the NSVs, the good days, the bad days, because I'm going through it as well. And I am currently stuck in a plateau. It is true. I've lost about 32 pounds and I'm just stuck. I'm not to my goal weight. I'm getting closer. I'm a little over halfway and I just want to maintain. I want to successfully maintain because I am a chronic yo-yo dieter. I'll say that all the time. I have over the years gone up and down and up and down and fought so hard to lose weight only to give in and gain it back later. So what is in that Halloween candy? That's what we want to talk about today is the candy. What's in it? What makes us feel so bad? I mean, if you think about it, candy makes you feel awful. And when you think about it, there's absolutely nothing in candy that is beneficial for the human body. I mean, one can argue that there are nuts. Nuts have protein. That would be, like a Snickers bar or something like that, which is actually similar to protein bars. I've seen a lot of protein bars and they'll be stuffed with nuts and protein and things like that. And they're not that much better than a candy bar. If you look at the nutrition label, they have high sugar, a ton of sodium, and it's not much better than just eating a candy bar. And people tout that it's so healthy and so good for you and will help you, gain muscle and lose weight. But at the end of the day, it's pretty much processed candy, unless it's specifically labeled as organic or something along those lines. But we're talking about candy today because candy is everywhere right now. And this is how the holiday season starts off. It kicks off with Halloween and candy, and some people do not celebrate it, but even though it is still out there, it's still around, and I have to be mindful about it. But like I said, candy makes us feel awful. If I'm just binging on junk food or fast food or drive-through or something like that, it's kind of the same reaction, but candy seems much worse. It's a more dramatic reaction and it's worse symptoms. What I mean is instantly, within minutes, usually, within a half hour, less than a half hour, after eating candy especially, I'll start to feel awful. I'll start to feel bloated. I'll start to feel lethargic and just plain gross. And it's not just physical, it's mental. I'll feel sadness. And just think about kids, all right? Going to kids and toddlers even. If you give them candy, even just a little bit, they'll have this crazy reaction. They will get very hyper and they'll be running around and they'll be jumping all over the place. And then all of a sudden they'll literally crash or they'll pass out sleeping or they'll get really irritable. They'll throw tantrums. They'll be angry. And it's a very similar reaction to what we as adults have. And a lot of people compare it to just kids, but it happens to adults too. We just don't have as much of a huge explosion like kids do, because kids have less of a filter than adults. When you ask a kid about how something looks on us or how they view the world, they're just brutally honest and they just don't have a filter, right? Where we try to restrain our emotions a little bit more, but we do have the same reactions. So for me, like I said, after eating candy or junk or something along those lines, it'll hit pretty quick. In the moment, it feels really good and it's delicious and amazing. And I'm going to talk about binging in another video for this holiday challenge in November, because Thanksgiving is a big binge day, right? But specifically in regards to candy and stuff like that, you will feel so bad. I know I will feel mentally bad and physically bad. I'll feel bloated. I'll feel gross. I'll feel lethargic, tired, sad. And that's the thing, the mental part, it'll hit, and it's debilitating. You feel depressed and down on yourself. And why did I do that? And the guilt hits us hardest of all. I know I feel guilty. Like, why did I eat that? Why? It doesn't make any sense. For instance, a couple years ago, this was back when my kids were pretty young, probably toddler age, baby age. So at that age, you take them to these events and you have these candy bags. You take your kids to these events and they get all this candy, so much candy, and they're little kids, right? So they're not going to eat it. And what I should have done, the smart thing to do, was to donate the candy, give it away, give it to someone else, be charitable about it, or give it to another friend or someone who's just in need. But of course, I did not do that. But instead of doing the charitable thing, I binged on the candy. I'm just going to come out and say it. It's embarrassing, but everyone has their slip-ups. People with food addiction more than others, of course. But I just caved. And the crazy thing was, I would binge it in the morning. There is no reason, absolutely no reason at all, to binge on candy in the morning. Same with ice cream. There's no reason. I mean, the morning should be reserved for, eggs and breakfast and all of those things. But instead, I was eating candy every single morning. And it was over the course of 2 weeks or so, going into November. Let me tell you, this was a while ago, but the memory is still there. They say you remember things that are unpleasant way more, and it's true. I remember I've never felt so sick in my life. And I wouldn't recover till around 3 p.m. I'd eat this junk, this nastiness in the morning, and I'd feel so sick, and all I could do was just watch TV. Luckily, I didn't have a job at this time, but I have talked in my scheduling video when I did have a job, and I did have this issue as well. I would stop at a gas station on the way to work and eat ice cream, and I'd have to deal with that at work. I'd have to feel this horrible lethargic feeling, and I'd have to just deal with it and suck it up and talk to customers and work with the coworkers and managers and just put a smile on my face and pretend everything was fine. So yeah, it's just so debilitating how bad it makes you feel, and it lasts a long time. Is it worth it? It's not worth it. I mean, you get maybe 10, 20, maybe even 30 minutes of pleasure enjoying those flavors, enjoying those foods, but is it really worth it at the end of the day? Not at all. Not at all. It's not worth it to enjoy 30 minutes of pleasure for hours of torture, essentially. I mean, it could turn into a migraine. For me, I get migraines really bad, and if I eat really bad and I feel nauseous and gross, it can easily turn into a headache or a migraine, and that can be even worse, to the point that I'm nauseous and I can't do anything. I'm just stuck in bed and not getting anything productive done. Whereas instead of doing that, I could have gone for a walk, and a walk is a mood lifter and makes you feel better. It's just choices. That's what I'm getting at. It's weight loss is all about choices, how you can make each day better than the last. So all of these feelings happen to us after eating sugar or bad foods. Why? Why is that? So obviously, it's all going to come down to the main bad ingredient, and that is sugar. Sugar. High blood sugar. Your cells, your blood vessels, after eating this, are just drowning in glucose. They're just drowning in glucose. It's way too much sugar. It's overloading your pancreas, your liver. They process sugar, and they keep the body regulated. Your liver especially is a filter. Same with your kidneys, but your liver and pancreas are just the main ones. And yeah, you're just overloading yourself with sugar. And if you don't get a handle of it, it'll, cause blood spikes and insulin resistance that later is going to lead down to the type 2 diabetes. And we do not want to get into that. But unfortunately, type 2 diabetes is soaring. We're at record highs for obesity in America, diabetes in America, cardiovascular disease, so many diseases. And it's because of these foods. It's because of these these things that we're eating, too much sugar, it damages the cells so badly that they'll literally start to explode. It not only damages cells, it kills cells. It's way, way too much. Besides sugar, let's look into what else is in these candies. And not just candies, but all processed food and disgusting food. A main high factor baddie out there as far as ingredients is high fructose corn syrup. I believe that might actually be banned in a couple of places. But yeah, tons of candy, they use high fructose corn syrup. It's basically sugar in this condensed form. It might even be worse than sugar, I don't know. But sugar is so addicting. And that's the other thing, is it's so bad for you, in high amounts especially. But it's not only so bad for you, it's also mega addicting. Similar to a drug addiction. You can look, and I've talked about this many times, but you can look online and there's lots of images, x-rays and stuff where they compare brains, addiction reactions to cocaine. And then on the other side, it's addiction reaction to sugar. And it's very, very similar. And sugar's everywhere. It's in everything. It's even in things you wouldn't think, like bread and even some cooked foods like meats and stuff. They'll add sugar. It's just crazy. But also, scary things that are found in candy, okay? I looked this up and it was terrifying. I knew there was bad stuff in candy, but I didn't know just how bad. Of course, there is the artificial dyes, red 40, and there's trans fats. All of these things can lead to so many diseases, type 2 diabetes, and increased cancer risks, disease risks. They don't flat out say it causes it, but they do say that it increases your risk of getting it the more you eat it. And some of these kids are eating this constant every year, every event, every party. These candies are floating around everywhere. And when I see them in the stores, on the racks, and the cashiers, I see them nowadays. I kind of see them as cigarettes. Like when I go to stores and stuff, I see the cigarettes on the racks. I see alcohol being sold. See all these vapes and stuff, and I get the same angry reaction. Like, what is going on here? This is insane. This is crazy. So that's just something to think about the next time you take your kids to a party or event or any of these holiday events. Think about what they are actually eating, because it is crazy, absolutely crazy what are in these foods. And I'm going to get into it more in a part 2 video of this, because there's so many more things I want to talk about. This is getting kind of long, so I'm going to end it for today. But the main thing, sugar, so bad. I just can't believe how addicting it is. It's everywhere. Sugar's just in everything. I mean, there's some mashed potatoes sometimes have sugar, and that's the other thing. You go to these stores and you look at the ingredients on the back and you can see it'll be labeled, and sometimes it'll even be hidden. And I'll talk about that in the next part, but it'll be hidden in the labels that there's grams of sugar in your mashed potatoes, in your breads, hot dog buns, just things you wouldn't normally think sugar would be in. Pastas, even the dry form of pastas will have a gram or 2 of sugar in them. Why? Why are there added sugars? That just doesn't make sense. That's crazy to me. That's literally crazy. So, I'm going to go ahead and stop that here before I get into a crazy rant, and then this video turns into an hour-long podcast, which, podcasts are meant to be long, but I like to break them up into smaller ones just to keep it, relevant. But I'm going to go ahead and go get some coffee and get a walk in, because I am on my challenge, and I am determined to make it on this challenge this time. I want to get to January 1st, and I want to be down a little weight, at least a little bit, 10, 15 pounds. That would be amazing and would get me a step closer to my goal weight. I'm getting there. I was obese, and I want to share a before and after, because I do look different. Even though I'm still overweight, I look different, and I've lost quite a bit, and I feel better. I feel great. It's amazing. It's wonderful. And I want to hold on to that feeling, because I've been so stressed out lately, but we got to be motivated. We got to keep it up. We got to be positive every day and be optimistic, realistic optimism. Have a plan. I kind of lost my way. I let life get to me. And this is what happens when you're on a yo-yo diet, is that you kind of let the bad times get to you and it brings you down a lot. And you end up just binging every day and caving, at least if you're a food addict like me. And next thing you know, you're up 5, 10, 15 pounds. All the weight you lost previously is just back. And I've been doing well. I'm on this plateau. I haven't gained weight back. And I'm very close to gaining. Just like Dr. Now talks about in 600 Pound Life. You'll see that their weight loss will slow down and he'll tell them, if you're not careful, you're going to start gaining again. That's just how it works. You start giving up on losing weight. And instead of focusing on maintaining, you kind of go the other way. And I'm stopping that. So on this challenge, I hope you guys are challenging yourselves as well. Do one thing small every day. Baby steps add up. Reach for your goals. Happy goal getting. Have a good one.